Alright folks, we're back. So, part 20 of Final Fantasy VII. It's time to make the ascent, or finish the ascent, and get in motion. I did it perfectly that time. Get used to the mechanics, and really, you have to, I mean, the trick to that part is just waiting for like a certain point of the upswing. So, I guess it just would be easier just to say, watch what I did. But, you know, sitting there trying to talk. Get that time, speed, distance, basically. Yeah, so alright. We're at Shinra headquarters. There's a lot to this fucking place. So understand, get used to this place because we're going to be here for a few episodes in the 20s. This kind of, just got done having some Arby's. I might do like a cameo video for that next time. Really, it's been a long time since I fucked around and had Arby's. I can't even think of the last time before today that I had it. I used to have it all the time back in late 2013, which I was doing vlogs back then and stuff, but just wasn't quite skilled enough. I lost my old phone that had all the vlogs on it, so I can't pull any of those out, but I did a bunch in 2013. But that would have been nuts to have had acidic roots happen back then, but I came up with the acid roots name in 2014. So I don't know what I would have called myself in 2013. Yeah, so okay, so you get like two decisions here. You can either storm the base or you can take the stairs. And trust me, taking the stairs is a bastard. I watched someone do it and there's like tons and tons and tons and tons of stairs. I think there's random battles also. This is easier just to go through because you're just going to go to floor 60. I mean, that's where things kind of cook up. There's 60 floors to this building at least. I mean, we don't have to go through every single one, but once we get to the 60s, there's going to be some stuff. So you can take the stairs and just fight a bunch of people, or you can storm the base. I'm going to storm the base. So, it's monotonous. You take the stairs. That concludes the previous episode that I recorded back in June. That's the last of my June Final Fantasy footage. So, loading. So, yeah. Let's get this party started. Starting to think of what necessarily to do. But, yeah, I guess back to the Arby's story is just, you know, I used to get that all the time back in 2013 and shit. I you know, it's been so long that I forgot what I used to get. I used to get like those sliders. They had like hot sauce sliders or something like that. I used to get those before I had my problem with the monster drink, but it's really been since probably 2017 since I went to Arby's at all, so it was just good to kind of refresh my memory. It took me back to being 24 and 25 again. But anyhow, so with this, you know, obviously Shinra is not going to let us just storm the base. So you know, this is the base for them basically. So there's going to be a lot of fights here, boss battles, puzzles, tricks, mini games, all sorts of shit. There's a particular thing that you're going to see at the end of this video that truly pissed me off, but I mean, I should. I mean, I've already done the footage to get past it, but I was raging pretty badly. And then plus I got a phone call during that time, so that also pissed me off because I had to do it all over again. So, but we'll get to that as it comes. We'll talk about that phone call because it did have something. we shall take the elevator. So a little bit of different dialogue here. August is going to be a good month for the Acid Roots brand. I'm just trying to think of like the things I am going to do. I mean, it's probably about 15% done, but within the next couple days it'll probably be closer to like 30%. There's a lot of stuff that I have to do, but it's really not too tricky. Just looking forward to getting that in motion. I was almost tempted to skip some of these bits. I mean, I really thought about it. I mean, there's going to be some fights, but if you like seeing the newer enemies, then that's what you have to work with. But these armor dudes, the thing about it is some of them have 2 forms. So that's why I just try to use magic on them, because it just takes too long. So, I mean, if your attacks are strong enough, you can defeat them without having to get to the second form, but otherwise it just kind of draws things out, especially when there's more than one of them. So yeah, so it's gonna be fighting in this. And some of the floors in the higher floors have random battles, and that kind of makes things tedious, but I mean, it is an RPG, so it's just kind of like hell. But I mean, this is clever though. I mean, most of the time, I mean, this feels like, you know, City Hall. That's basically what this place feels like, because you will meet the mayor here, and he tells you what his duty is, and you may be thinking, okay, well, is the mayor a bad guy? Well, technically. That just kind of happens to be the situation, so the whole politics is pretty similar to how things are in real life. So this is just basically like one big office, and I kind of like that once we start getting past like the 60th floor. But things turn back to Final Fantasy after a few more episodes, so we're gonna see a villain, and there's gonna be some bad things that happen. But, you know, if I would have taken the stairs rather than, and I don't mean the outside stairs, but the stairs inside the building, I could have found like a shop, like, you know, the people work for Shinra, but they still would have sold you items. It just would have been some neat dialogue of like, hey, you know, we're not supposed to sell you, but I guess we can. So I didn't do it just because it probably would have resulted in more random battles. And we're going to get into enough fights in this episode, so we just know that they would do that. Took the stairs. Really not too many people to talk to until you get to like the 60th floor. So. I can't really figure out what the weakness of these eel things are. I would think it would be like fire or ice, but I'm just not completely sure. They may not have a weakness. I probably should have bought more magic techniques, but I didn't think to. Because I really didn't have the money. It would have required a lot more grinding to do that. So, it's not like I can't play this game, but, you know, when it comes to the idea of having to grind for like 30 or 40 or 50 minutes or so just to get like 2,000 gil, that's kind of where it gets on the nerves. So, but, you know, obviously we'll start getting a lot more gil later. We're on the 60th floor. So, now obviously I could go forward, but I'm going to go back and save so I don't have to do all that again. So once you get to the elevator, you don't have to keep, there's a different type of elevator that doesn't involve you fighting. So. Yep, so get used to this place. This is like Final Fantasy's version of The Office. The show The Office, so. Ham, Michael Scott, White. Really, I mean, after this next segment, though, Final Fantasy kind of takes a turn, and I kind of like the way that things were going with the politics and, like, the government, all that sort of stuff, research development, the scientific development, and all that sort of stuff that you see. It was kind of interesting. I mean, I like history and politics more than I used to, so it was kind of like, it was a nice theme for Final Fantasy for a little while, but just know that since the game is called Final Fantasy, I mean, it's like, yeah, you're going to be seeing, like, inns and towns and fantasy creatures and Moogles and stuff, so it's been mostly human. There haven't been too many, like, fantasy creatures just yet. That's going to change. Hard 60s. Now we can get to the 60th floor, but we're not going to do that yet. I was just kind of messing around, but that was stupid because you can't get into random battles here. Of course, it would be with 3 of them. You can't run. Bastards. Cobalt had to work all day today. On top of that, John Lewis, the politics icon, died. So, some stuff. As far as this current times as to what's going on. If you're not from America, you may not know who John Lewis is, but he was basically like a sidekick to Martin Luther King back in the 60s. He was like 10 years younger than him, but he did as much. And I saw a post of his on Instagram that basically said that he'd been arrested over 40 times for doing protesting like things. And that's the thing, I mean, in America, there's like a thing called like the 3 strikes law, so if you get arrested more than 3 times, you could be looking at a pretty hefty sentence in prison. So I'm just like, forget that, you know. Some of these people talk about getting into good trouble, and I don't know the mechanics of how I feel about that, because sit there and say, I mean, if you know who Nelson Mandela is, to say for a righteous cause you go to prison for, 16 or 19 years or something. It's like, nope. you know. But, that's obviously what Avalanche is doing. I think Final Fantasy has some ties to that because, as you just saw, Barrett's group Avalanche, they just killed all their people off because, Shinra brought down the metallic plate and killed everyone in that town. So it was just kind of like, fuck it. You'll see what happens in the aftermath of that fairly soon, but this is kind of the thing. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised they just didn't arrest them and imprison them, but they're just plain trying to kill them. So you would think that they would just make it a crime and then just find out where they live. But yeah, so I hate this part of the game. This is one of my least favorite parts just because it's such a troll and it triggers me trying to get past this part, but you'll see as it happens. I mean, honestly, I have to do a recording segment, the phone rings, I have to do another recording segment, and it's just plain a pain in the ass. So if you get seen, you have to do the whole thing over, but not before you have a long, extended fight. So just know that. The point is to not get caught. But alright folks, subscribe for more fun. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful night.